You are welcome, Hattori Hanzo.
Momochi-san da yo. Fujibayashi Nagato. The years steal behind us quickly, do they not?
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're looking at the most interesting historical figures you can meet in Ubisoft's latest Assassin's Creed game. Naturally, there are some spoilers ahead for the first act of Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Lady Oichi, younger sister of Lord Nobunaga. Diogo, the visitor from...
Oh, everyone knows Diogo.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Yasuke.
An outsider among outsiders.
We're starting with the most obvious historical figure Shadows includes, the legendary samurai Yasuke. This isn't the first time Yasuke has been a character in a video game, showing up in both Nioh and Nioh 2 from Team Ninja, not to mention in various manga over the years. Little is known about Yasuke, just that he was enslaved by the Portuguese and brought with them on a mission to Japan where Oda Nobunaga became fascinated by him, making him a samurai. This is the first time a historical figure has ever been playable as a lead character in an Assassin's Creed game, with the scarce details of Yasuke's later life making him an ideal candidate for an adaptation.
I see potential in this man. A warrior whose spirit can inspire armies.
Oda Nobunaga.
You have served me better than my sons ran. Do not defy me now.
Japan's Great Unifier plays a vital role at the beginning of Assassin's Creed Shadows, becoming an early target for Naoie, who believes he's part of the secret order that conspired to destroy her home and murder her father. The first act ends with Nobunaga's death during the Honnoji incident in 1582, but we revisit him frequently through flashbacks about Yasuke's first 6 months in Japan. Upon release, the portrayal of Nobunaga received praise from Japanese review outlets for its nuance. He was both a violent warlord and a visionary, with a dream of fully unifying Japan, something that would eventually be achieved after his death under the Tokugawa shogunate.
Is there anything at all that one's given life does not perish?
Akechi Mitsuhide.
There will be no need for that. Please.
Speaking of Nobunaga, he ultimately committed seppuku after being cornered in a rebellion by Akechi Mitsuhide. Mitsuhide was a samurai and betrayed Nobunaga, only to be killed himself 2 weeks later by some of Nobunaga's most trusted allies in the Battle of Yamazaki. In-game, Mitsuhide tricks Naoie early on by telling her that Nobunaga is the leader of the order she wants revenge on, though in reality, Mitsuhide is one of its most high-ranking members. This is a fascinating piece of history because to this day, historians debate exactly why Mitsuhide turned on Nobunaga. However, if you don't rush to immediately complete the story after Nobunaga's death, many in-game years will pass before you can take down Mitsuhide, rather than the 2 weeks it actually took.
Go now. There is much to do.
Ashikaga Yoshiaki.
There are advantages to being at a distance.
For 250 years, the Ashikaga shogunate ruled Japan, and in its final 5 years, the shogun was Ashikaga Yoshiaki. You'll encounter him briefly in-game during the second act when Yasuke and Naoie attend a sumo match. They observe, and a friendly but mysterious old man gives them advice, as well as his verdict on why the underdog will ultimately win the match. They don't recognize him, but others do, and he ends up leaving. Only then do our heroes put 2 and 2 together and realize they were just speaking to the deposed shogun, who in real life spent his later years after losing power living as a monk under an assumed name.
The Shogun! Here! I can't believe it!
What's that?
Senno Rikyū.
Do you know where I can learn tea etiquette?
Who do I look like? Senno Rikyu?
While hunting down one of her earliest targets, Naoie needs to infiltrate a tea ceremony. Being from a modest background in Iga, she's not familiar with the complexities and rules of the tea ceremony, and needs to learn them and find appropriate clothing. She does this by visiting legendary team master Senno Rikyu, team master to Nobunaga at the time. He teaches her his famous Way of Tea, and if you're playing on canon mode, she breezes through the ceremony with flying colors. If you're not playing on canon mode, you'll have to remember everything he teaches you for yourself. Later, you'll encounter him in Kyoto, and he'll ask you to collect various tea sets for him.
An excellent choice. I hope you will find what you seek at the ceremony.
Ukita Naoie.
Changing of seasons. Another battle, same war.
Interesting.
As we know based on the disclaimer at the beginning of every AC game that they're a work of fiction, sometimes Ubisoft bends the truth to fit its history. Katarina Sforza, for instance, is portrayed as much older than she really was at the time back in Assassin's Creed 2. A similar thing happens in Shadows with Ukita Naoie, who in real life died months before Nobunaga in 1582. This means that he should definitely be dead already by the time you encounter him in Harima, but here he is. It's a great arc though, with Naoie living up to his reputation as one of Japan's 3 great villains by kidnapping his own son as part of a play to gain more power.
My visit here has informed what I will speak about.
What might that be?
Regret.
Lady Oichi.
Lady Oichi, younger sister of Lord Nobunaga. Diogo, the visitor from...
Oh, everyone knows Diogo.
A few feathers have been ruffled by the option to romance Lady Oichi, Oda Nobunaga's sister, while playing as Yasuke. But remember, Assassin's Creed Odyssey lets you have a tryst with Aspasia, a hugely influential figure in ancient Athens. Not to mention, yet again, the fictional character Ezio Auditore's on-off love affair with Katarina Sforza. So this is hardly new ground for Assassin's Creed. In Shadows, Oichi is a charming character, and her story with Yasuke, should you choose to pursue it, unfolds naturally. There are some twists in this tale that we won't spoil, but one of our favorite moments in Shadows is when Naoie eavesdrops on their budding courtships and jokes with Yasuke about his crush.
Anything for you, oh perfect, oh beautiful Lady Oichi.
Fujibayashi Nagato.
Are you hurt? Answer me!
This is not my blood.
Unlike Yasuke, Naoie isn't based on a real person, but her father is. Very little is known about Nagato, but he was a key figure in the Iga Iki, a society of shinobi that live in Iga before the game begins. Nobunaga's armies destroy the Iga Iki, and Nagato dies while protecting Naoie from the Order manipulating things from behind the scenes. We do get to see a lot more of him in flashbacks though, as he teaches Naoie how to fight, but doesn't tell her everything about what the Iki was before nearly all of its members are killed. A big part of her character arc in the game is putting together these pieces and learning about the assassins.
You see the world for what it is now. Your mind is refocused. And next, we will redirect it.
Lady Nene.
Enter, Diogo.
Lady Nene, my apologies. I did not expect you.
At the time the game takes place, she's still known as Nene, but is better remembered in history by her later name, Kadain. Nene talks to Yasuke and Naoie about Oda Nobunaga's death as her husband, Hashiba Hideyoshi, returns home to avenge him, which, again, didn't take very long in real life, but takes years in-game. Hideyoshi was away fighting another clan at the time, so Nene was managing his affairs. But she also appears in flashbacks with Yasuke, including teaching him calligraphy and about other aspects of Japanese culture. She eventually became a nun and lived out the rest of her days in Kyoto.
Virtues that dictate what it means for one to walk the way of the warrior. To take up the sword.
Hattori Hanzo.
Forgive my interruption, Norimasa.
You are welcome, Hattori Hanzo.
In real life and in game, the legendary samurai Hattori Hanzo is another member of the Iga Iki and works for Tokugawa Ieyasu, soon to be Shogun, helping Tokugawa to escape after Nobunaga's death. Hanzo remains venerated in Japan for his skill as a warrior and as a tactician, an extremely important general in the late Sengoku era and the early Tokugawa era. You see him initially in Naoie's flashbacks as he arrives to warn the Iga Iki about Nobunaga's advance into the province. He asks the Igans to ally themselves with Tokugawa, believing that they'll be destroyed if they don't. Of course, this is exactly what comes to pass because the Iki don't want to surrender.
You have chosen a road tonight, Iga. May it lead you to victory!
Let us know in the comments which historical figures you hope we meet in Shadow's incoming DLCs.
I did it to make us strong. One shining sword under heaven, with a single destiny.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.